Hi everyone, this video walks through completing Packet Tracer assignment 4.4.8, Troubleshooting Inner VLAN Routing. This assignment is a part of the Switching, Routing, and Wireless Essentials version 7 Cisco Network and Academy curriculum. So in this lab assignment, we have our router on a stick configuration. So that means we don't need a separate connection between switch 1 and R1 for every VLAN. We need just one physical connection. And then we'll have a bunch of sub interfaces, one sub interface for every VLAN we have. That allows us to route traffic between VLANs. So we've got VLAN 10 and VLAN 30 here for PC1 and PC2. I know they're a little hard to see here. That's just a flaw in the lab. So we need to troubleshoot this. Everything is supposed to, air quotes, work, but of course it doesn't. So we need to notice some things here, right? We'll just make notes for ourselves. So FA011 needs to be in access mode for VLAN 10. FA06 needs to be in access mode for VLAN 30. G01 on the switch needs to be in trunking mode to carry all VLANs. And all of this is supposed to be on S1. Now on R1, we should have G01 turned on, so the physical port just needs to be turned on. Then we need to have G01.10 configured correctly. Then we also need to look for G0/1.30 being configured correctly. So let's make sure we note that as we go through, because this is a troubleshooting lab. Also, you can make sure that the PCs have correct IP addressing. Let's start there. So PC1, desktop 172.17.10.10 is correct. 255.255.255.0 is correct. 172.17.10.1 is its default gateway because we do want it to match that sub interface for this network in VLAN 10. So PC1's addressing is right. PC3, we got 172.17.30.10, 255.255.255.0, but you do notice that they assigned the wrong default gateway. They assigned this the default gateway for the sub interface for VLAN 10, and this needs to be in the same network. It needs to be 30.1, which is the VLAN 30 sub interface. Before, if they're in two separate networks, it will not work. So that was one of our corrections. So we'll note down here that some corrections that we made were fix PC3's IP configs. Next, let's check switch 1. So we'll do enable config T. Oh, I'm sorry, we don't need to go to configuration mode yet. Let's go to exit and do a show run. So interface FA011 is in access mode, carrying VLAN 10 traffic. That's what we wanted over to PC1 right here. Then also FA06, switch port mode, access 30 for VLAN 30 over here. That is correct. And we want G01 to be in trunking mode. And this says access mode. So we need to fix that. That needs to be in trunking mode. So we can go to configuration mode and then do interface G01, switch port mode trunk, and hit enter. Because that needs to carry multiple VLANs. So another one here, another fix is fixing G01 on switch 1. Change to trunking mode. All right, so that's our next fix down there. I'm sorry, our other one went away. The first fix was to change the default gateway for PC3 to be correct. And then our next one is change it to trunking mode. And I don't think these are going to stay with us, so I'm just going to remove it. It looks like it's going away every single time. All right. So we made 2 corrections so far. We're at 50%. Let's also make sure the VLANs are created. We need to make sure VLAN 10 and 20 are created. So I can do a do show VLAN brief. And we want to make sure that the VLANs are created. We got VLAN 10, VLAN 30. That is correct. And they should be in the correct ports because we saw that with the show run as well. Now let's look at R1. All right, let's do a show run. All right, so we got G01. It is turned on. We don't need an IP address on the physical interface. It is turned on because I do see it green and I don't see shutdown. Then we got to do the sub interfaces, and it's G0/1.10, which is correct. But you notice here that it says encapsulation .1Q30. That is reversed from what it should be. It should be .1Q10 because this one .10 is going to carry the 10 VLAN, and you see here it has the IP address for the .10 network. Same thing here. The .30 sub interface is carrying .1Q10 traffic, but it should be .1Q30 traffic. So we need to flip-flop those. So to do that, let's go to configuration mode and do interface G0/1.10. And what we're going to have to do is actually do no encap.1Q like that, and it'll take off all of it. Now what we're going to have to do is also go over to G0.30 first because it already had the .10 encap, or sorry, the VLAN 10 encapsulation. It won't let you do that across two sub interfaces for the same one. So we have to clear it all first. Now we can go back and apply it. So interface G0/1.10. So if I would have tried to do no encap for just the .10 interface and then apply the 10 VLAN encapsulation to it, it wouldn't have worked because that VLAN 10 encapsulation was incorrectly configured on .30 already. So we got to clear it all and then put it back up there. So interface G0/1.10, encapsulation .1Q10, hit enter there. And then interface G0/1.30, encap.1Q30. So that puts those in the correct encapsulation. So now if we do a do show run, also we got to go apply the interfaces, the IP addresses again, because it did take off the IP addresses as well. So let's go back and do that. So interface G0/1.10, and we want to do IP add 172.17.10.1 for this one, 255.255.255.0, and then interface G0/1.30, IP add 172.17.30.1, 255.255.255.0. Then we do a do show run. Now everything is correct. So G0/1.10, .1Q10 encapsulation, 10.1 for the IP address, G0/1.30, .1Q30, 30.1 IP address. And the last thing we need to do is just make sure all of these sub interfaces are up and operating correctly. So if we go into interface G0/1, no shut, interface G0/1.10, whoops, not 1.19, no interface G0/1.19. All right, interface G0/1.10. So you got a good thing of seeing how to remove one. And then no shut. All right, you see that actually changed state to up, so that means it was down. Then interface G0/1.30, no shut. That one's already up because it didn't do anything. So G0/1.10 needed the no shut command. All right. Now, that covers fixing everything in this lab and getting us to 100%.